Rundown.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? John Anthony, Chair Shot Sports. Reunited, and it feels so good. Gents, what's going on? For those of you that usually watch the show, Jesse B's usually my co-host, joins me. Obviously, all of us have work and other stuff to do, so this is awesome. The boys are back in town, baby. What's going on, guys?
Not much. I
Awesome.
mean, I was just live on these same feeds a little over an hour or so ago. So, it's great. It's great. Double dose of me tonight.
That's it. Pulling double duty.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Raw, again, another 2.5. I feel like 2.5 hours is the sweet spot to me. I think this is awesome that it doesn't go all the way to 11, but 10:30 is just like right there where you want it to be. I like that. like that's good for me. Not too much, not too little.
I'm gonna get used to that though. I think we were talking before we came on air when because I'm used to anything in Georgia because obviously they were in Atlanta for the show tonight, and the whole Made in Georgia with the peach went up, and just to let everybody behind the curtain a little bit. As soon as I saw that, I left my living room coming up to get set up for this because I'm like, okay, well, there's the Made in Georgia thing. The show's over where they're going to end with Cody getting kicked in the face, and then I come here and I hear something in the background. I'm like, oh wait, the show's not over. What the hell?
Yeah.
So I was going to scramble and hear the promo.
Yeah, same thing. I was streaming it, and because for those of you that were watching Suds News earlier, I did have it on my iPad on mute, so I was watching it while I was recording, and then towards the end, I turned the volume up and I watched. I saw the end of the Drew and Sammy match, and then Cody getting kicked in the face, and then the Made in Georgia came up, and then they go back to the promo. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe this was only supposed to be like the dark promo, and then they ended up to continue to stream. So I'm like, shit, just keep it going.
I know. I was like, maybe he's gonna cut a promo like in hometown, like off camera, and then we'll see like some vignettes or something. We'll see it on YouTube down the road. So
right.
Awesome. So great Raw. Again, I've loved Raw on Netflix so far. Nothing has really changed except for obviously the presentation, which has been amazing. The drone stuff is great. I love the new entrance. I love everything about it. I think it was a great Raw going into the Royal Rumble for Saturday. It was awesome. It kicked off. Seth Rollins opens the whole show, kind of getting his feels, talking about how great he is. He's be focused again after losing to Punk. And out comes Gunther, baby, the world heavyweight champion, to pretty much be like, hey, man, I hope you win because you're going to come up against me and just you'll be looking up at the lights just like everybody else, knowing you can't touch me. So that was good. And then Logan Paul finally makes his debut on Netflix on Raw, obviously declaring that he's going to be in the Royal Rumble. I talked about it on a previous show last week. This is probably one of the biggest star-studded Rumbles that have been ever. It's so stacked. It's so hard to pick a winner.
It's been great to build.
I know. What were you guys' thoughts of the promo that went down with Seth, Gunther, and Paul?
Go ahead, Vinny.
Well, I was just watching it with the captions because I was recording, so I didn't get a chance to really listen to what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I did get a chance to. But I did see. I like seeing the mix of main eventers, that they have. They're able to pick and choose who they have, whether it's Seth, Gunther, Punk, Logan, Drew, Roman. They have just a plethora of people that they can put in and out. There's, there's not just 2 or 3 guys that are carrying it. It almost does, and I know people make the analogy all the time. It almost does seem Attitude Era-esque, where everybody has a story and everybody has a reason to why they want to win the Rumble. And it's just fantastic seeing the different mixtures of guys that are in those promos, in those, just action-packed segments.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely.
And I'm glad you go in first because I remember you saying you were watching it on mute. Watching the captions, were the captions able to catch Logan Paul say anything? Did it actually have captions for Logan Paul or no?
It did. It had all the captions. I didn't see
Okay.
anything really missed.
That was worse than
course.
Dom Mysterio heat.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's why I was asking, because the reaction that we heard on TV for the sound up, you couldn't hear a word. They were booing him so loud.
Gunther actually was cracking up. Gunther was laughing his ass off. He thought it was hilarious.
Whoever, whether it's predictive text like AI, with you see some of the, or whether somebody's backstage typing it, I was curious if they were even able to pick some of it up, because it was hard to hear him on the TV.
At this point, I think it's all AI. But even the way that doing it, they had everything. They had breaking it down almost like a script. Seth says this, Gunther says this, Logan says it, and I couldn't catch all the words or anything. I couldn't pay that much attention to it, but it did.
They could have very easily, during Logan Paul's section, just had boo like through the whole thing, and that would have been appropriate too.
Booze rain down.
Yeah,
booze continuously rain down.
And Seth in the background laughing.
Yeah. There was a point, literally, Gunther kind of just went one of these. He was just geeking. He thought it was hilarious, man. So that was awesome. Logan Paul is back. Now he's on Raw. He's going to be in the Rumble. Obviously, it's WrestleMania season. He's back, and he's going to be back in the fold for something. And, of course, they go to CM Punk. Quick interview. Hey, everyone's going to feel bad. The only person that's going to have a good day is me in the Rumble, this, that, and the other. Runs into Sammy. And then, obviously, Sammy walks away from Punk. Punk runs into Karrion Kross. I love the character that Kross is playing right now, kind of just biding his time until the time is right for him to be that singles guy and have a storyline. Kind of just being like the pot stir, the straw that stirs the drink, if you will.
He's the puppet master behind the scenes.
And it was the fact that, did you see how quick to when he's watching him walk away, and then the Cody thing, he turns around, sees Cody, goes, "Whoop," and then he moves, gone. So Kross fed into a door like he was never there. I like the mystique they're building behind this guy. I love it.
Well, look at how they had going back to SmackDown. The Wyatt Six were moved to SmackDown, and then the Miz finds himself moved to SmackDown as well, and now Miz is all by himself.
Yeah. And Karrion pretty much is taking credit for that. He's like, "Yeah, have fun with that, buddy."
Exactly.
And then obviously, a lot to talk about in this match, but our first match is a World Tag Team title match for the Raw titles. War Raiders taking on Judgment Day, JD, and Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio. Prayers up to JD. If you didn't see the spot, go catch it on YouTube. Go check it. That man was 6 inches away from seeing some nasty stuff on live television. I literally immediately, my wife stopped what she was doing. Like, it was, like, you saw the ref look right at Dom. Like, we gotta check out JD.
Yeah.
Before we get into it,
it's weird that Michael Cole even he stopped. He's like, "No, I'm not kidding. We need somebody to check on him."
Yeah,
he said that 2 or 3 times on commentary.
Like, that was wild. And I guess what reports are, after the match, he got to the back, right past that part of the diode. He collapsed right on the floor, right outside Gorilla. So hopefully, players, seriously, to finish the match after taking that bump. I don't care if his neck's okay. That shit hurt. That hurt, man. The velocity of that neck snap was crazy. But the match itself was awesome. War Raiders retained. What are your guys' thoughts on the match?
Not only that, but one of the moves in the match after that was he took a knee to the back of the head from Eric. It was like a reversal of a backbreaker or something like that. And you could see JD lay back. So that was the planned spot. And he hits him square in the back of the head. And not to mention all the other crazy stuff they did. It was a great match.
Yeah, I agree.
Dom and JD, no flack to either one of them on their wrestling ability. I know everybody gives them hell about their characters because they're annoying and that's what they're supposed to be. But good Lord, those two are the future of WWE in that ring. And holy crap, that's awesome.
There's even a spot too. Something happened with JD. And you saw him drop on his knees on the ring. Didn't move.
Yeah.
I'm like, somebody should check on that man. Please tell me he's not knocked out. Vinny, what are your thoughts?
I have to say, I really like how they're doing more of a sports-based presentation to Raw now. On even actually to Raw and SmackDown, because you have legitimate Joe Tessitore, legitimate sports broadcaster, and then the way that Michael Cole had like you said, calling this match and you got to check on them. It's like a legitimate sporting event, and it's because I did catch a little bit of Pat McAfee at one point saying somebody was healing because he was the good guy or the bad guy or whatever, and they're taking the shrouded secrecy that was pro wrestling and kind of not exposing it, but treating it like a legitimate sport. And I love it.
No, I agree.
And Triple H has gotten hate for that in the past. What was it, like a week or two ago, where he was doing an interview and he said something about we're faces and heels, and like the IWC just went crazy. How dare you mention heels and faces, and those are our special words. No, dude, that's just the way the show works.
And it was in the context of the interview, he was saying people aren't dumb. We don't treat you like you're dumb. You know what's going on. You know it's scripted. You know it's predetermined. We're just here to present it to you. And that's kind of, I think that's once TKO got in, I was like, that's where you're looking at UFC style fights. Like
don't get me wrong. I appreciate kayfabe. I appreciate, keeping the mystique alive. But there's certain aspects of the presentation that should be kept as a legitimate sporting event.
Yeah. Agreed. Then we go in the back and another backstage promo. Pete, don't call me Butch Dunn, runs into Ludwig Kaiser. They're talking about, hey, we got to show this new guy what's going on. I saw you get your ass kicked out there. And the New Day, the Boo Day, apparently now named by Pat McAfee, comes over. Right, guys? And just don't even the heels want to screw with these guys. It's so this. I really hope there's a nice little ending to this. Like they go on some nice little run because, dude, they're like the leopards in the backstage right now. It's crazy.
I love it,
dude. And that feeds into the match against Rey Mysterio. And before we get into that, breaking news: Zelina Vega is now traded over to SmackDown, no longer in the LWO. It's funny. It's like there's the reason she's getting moved. I don't know why. Maybe because of the Rumbles. I don't know. Maybe an entry or something. I don't know.
They had to get something. They had to get something for Bayley. I mean, it's a fair trade, right? Zelina versus for Bayley. That's fine.
Yeah,
they had to do
send
something.
her back to be with Andrade.
Yeah, right.
Huh?
Or whoever comes. Or
anybody else that may show up.
I like Andrade could be a thing.
After they get done teaching the dark arts to somebody else.
I'm telling you, that's got to be him. I'm telling you. That's
they're playing it up way too much at this point. That's 2 weeks in a row they've mentioned the words dark arts. Yeah.
That leads right into the Rey Mysterio Xavier Woods match. Xavier's family didn't show up apparently, or were late getting there, as we find out. Great match, man. I love Xavier Woods. I think he was never used properly for so long, being just the trumpeter and just being like the hype man. I feel like he was never used the right way. The man is yoked. He's always been in phenomenal shape. Now is such a great time to see him showcased. I mean, he's been over there for a long time. I mean, I'm sure he has a little bit left long. He's getting long in the tooth. But I think he could have a really, really good singles run if him and Kofi don't end up working out. They do that little singles thing. So they go crazy. The family shows up. They got New Day sucks shirts. Pisses off Xavier. Those shirts are fine. We're probably going to do a giveaway for that. And then just like Kofi's family turned their back on him, he gets in the ring, takes a 619, and Ray drops a dime on him for his troubles. 1, 2, 3. Ray wins. What are you guys' thoughts on the match and all the stuff that happened in the middle of it?
I gotta say, the New Day is more interesting now than they've ever been, in my opinion. I was never a fan of New Day. As soon as they started this heel turn, and even when they were doing this stuff with Odyssey Jones in August and kind of building up to it, and I know the crap surrounding that, and they had to do a reset and everything. But when they turned on Big E, it was like, finally, like, nothing against Big E, nothing against the thing, but the gimmick was getting stale. Yeah. So, they're interesting. I think that Xavier Woods is very underrated as a wrestler. So, having him now being able to show a lot more character work has been great. And Kofi has never really been a true heel. So, they had, when New Day started, it was a heel faction, but it wasn't this nasty heel, I'm entitled to XYZ, you know, and all this. I'm loving it. And, you know, the fact that they're playing into the New Day sucks thing and they're getting booed out of the building, the passion of the fans is what's driving this. And that's all there is to it.
I agree. Mike?
Yeah, and that's the only reason they were late getting to their seats is there was a long line at the merch table behind all those New Day Suck shirts. So they were in the arena on time. It just took them forever to get the new shirts. That's all it was. But yeah, I mean, seeing Xavier Woods, and Xavier Woods especially, because like you said, Kofi's had a good singles run. He's had a long singles career, got put with the New Day and kind of revitalized his career for a little while. And I've always been a big fan of the New Day. I was glad they took this turn because I think they needed some refreshing. Especially ever since Big E left, the Big E was kind of the glue that held the original New Day together. Just his presence and his vibrance and everything else kind of made the New Day the power of positivity that it was. So I think them really having this refresh will kickstart a new era for them. But letting Xavier Woods have matches like this, good Lord, that man is awesome. I mean, walking around, and I get it, it's Rey Mysterio. He's a lucha. Walking around with a dude up in a suplex position, that's hard to do no matter who you got up there.
Yeah.
And just walking around the ring like it's nothing. I mean, like you said, the dude's jacked, and he's one of the better professional wrestlers on the roster that you never get to see because he's always one of the most entertaining guys. I mean, he was great as the trumpet guy and then the trombone guy because he was entertaining as hell. But getting to see him actually go more in the ring and kind of have this more heel character, kind of back to some of his TNA days and things like that before he really got into WWE. Man, I'm excited for that. I would, like you said, I would love to see a singles run from him. I wish they would start winning some matches. Maybe once they start doing tags again, so maybe they can go for the War Raiders tag team belts at some point. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as long as they start turning around and winning every so often coming up, I'm all for it.
I would love.
No, I agree. I love the heel run.
I would love to see something. I would love to see something with the New Day where, because of how they're being treated by, let's say, the Raw locker room, then they start kind of like touring the different locker rooms, especially now with the partnership with TNA. I would love to see New Day go over to TNA and be like, "We're not appreciated on Raw. Let's try them and go for something. Let's really use this partnership to their advantage."
Okay, I like that. Ooh, taking on the Hardys too. Uber faces, Uber heels. Oh, take my money. That'd be a damn good match, man. I like that.
As long as they don't go to SmackDown, because SmackDown's full of heel tag teams right now.
Yeah,
I was glad A-Town Down. I'm glad A-Town Down Under got moved over to Raw. I actually mentioned on our show Thursday that they needed to get moved, and just because you need some more face tag teams there. Hopefully, Fraxium gets to go to SmackDown, and once they're done. But yeah, Raw definitely needs some more heels, and SmackDown definitely needs some more face tag teams.
No, I agree. I was going to say, yeah, SmackDown needs to give some up and give them to Raw and give some to NXT, and then help out TNA too. Like they can afford to give up a couple.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Pretty Deadly move over too. Hopefully, they're going to have like a loser leaves town match with DIY or something like that, or Motor City Machine Guns, and let them go over to Raw too. They could use with a change of scenery as well.
Not to get off the subject of Rob, I feel like people just don't get Pretty Deadly. I feel like people just don't get the gimmick, and it's like it's funny. Like that's what.
Oh yeah,
and they're awesome wrestlers.
I think it's a rehash, but toned down of like Billy and Chuck. And it's. I mean, it's a funny gimmick, but it's meh to me.
But that match they had on Friday night was they showed they could go.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I agree. So we're in the back again. Sammy and Seth. Sammy's apologizing. It was an accident. Didn't mean to give you a haluva cake and put my foot in your mouth. Seth is like, "That's cool, man. It happens again. I can't really know if it was an accident." That's for some foreshadowing to the end of the night. And Jey Uso, man, this dude, I said it on the prediction show for Saturday Night Main Event and the results show. This man can do no wrong. This man it doesn't matter what he does, man. Then he coming out with Cuervo. Well, with Cuervo, I mean, no Sage this time, so just Cuervo and with Jey Uso. But yeah, dude, the crowd reaction is just crazy for Jey. He could go 0 for 100 on his next 100 matches, and no one gives a hell. No one gives a damn. He's just going to come out. Everyone's going to yeet on themselves. It's awesome. It's great. Jay now puts his sights on the Royal Rumble, as everyone is this whole week, moving into Saturday's event. So I'm pumped for that. I think that's going to be cool.
I will say that to me, that segment went on a little too long. It lost some of its luster towards the end. I was like, all right, let's go. Let's move on to something else.
My thing is too, like, I love, like, obviously the chants have always been organic with the universe, right? The way obviously Austin did it, not all the time, but it was just like, you don't have to talk. Your promos need to take 10 minutes because you pause between everything to hear. Yeet.
The only reason why he does that is because he gets blown up coming through the crowd.
Dude, you see how, what was it, 2 weeks ago? He hopped around the mic. He's like, welcome.
Yeah. Exactly.
I was like, no, he's not bad. He's a minute. Get him some air.
I mean, to me, that kind of takes it away. Away from it, because it's great to have the crowd interaction coming through the crowd and everything and the eat and everything. But if you're already blown up by the time you get to the ring, your matches are going to suffer. Your promos are going to suffer.
He wrestles half a match just getting up on the top rope, just damn, bro.
Like, get that man some cardio. Like, I'm not in the best cardio shape myself, but I'm not attempting that.
Or get him a little less cardio on the way to the ring.
Yeah, I was gonna say, get the cardio in the gym. Save that for Fridays and leg day, bro. What are you doing?
Well, that's like even on tonight's, when he's coming down the stairs, they had the little entryway right there that was on a lower level. Let him come out through there. That's half the walk. You still get the same effect.
He's like, nope, we're going this way. We're going all the way around. We're going to mock it. We're going to walk halfway around everybody.
I do want to respond to Michael from the chat. He said they should do the entrance, hit a commercial to get him some breath. But on Netflix, I don't get commercials. They just keep going. So, I think they should move them to SmackDown if they're going to do it that way, because SmackDown still has commercials for everybody. I don't see commercials on Netflix. I don't know if that's the same for everybody, but like
I do.
It really wouldn't do anything for him to get any breath, because people are still watching him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm thinking about upgrading to the no ads. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter to me either way. But just as an ad on my screen for 3 minutes, they're still in the ring doing stuff, and he's still gonna be So
But and before we go, I do want to make another point. I meant to mention this at the beginning of the show. You mentioned Logan Paul.
I did.
And I wanted to give a shout out to Logan Paul, who got hit with the what chance. Like, you've heard hundreds of wrestlers over the past 10 years. And shout out to him for being able to flip his cadence in the middle of his promo and start using the what chance in his promo. To be such a young entertainer and young performer on this stage, to be able to switch your cadence in your promo on a dime like that when you start getting the what chance, that was pretty damn awesome. That's a seasoned vet right there.
I agree.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. I've said it before on a lot of shows. I think we've talked about it too. Like, you can hate him. He's doing his job. That's what you're supposed to do. But he is wise beyond his years, and he's invested in the business. He's invested in the craft, and it's good. It shows, just like we just said. It shows, like, that doesn't. If Bad Bunny was out there or some new guy out there, they don't know what they're doing. They're just gonna keep talking through it. Logan's like, oh, we're gonna do that. All right, I'll slow it down for you. All right, we'll want it.
Yeah,
okay,
there's been plenty of seasoned wrestlers who got that what chant and lost it and got embarrassed.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree. That's a good shout out. Shout out to Logan Paul, man. And then Lyra Vicarious backstage as well, your new women's intercontinental champion. Good to see her on TV. Talking about when she's going to defend it. Talking about she's declaring herself for the Royal Rumble. She's going to be in the Royal Rumble too. For those guys, I say that because if you guys must remember when The Rock had his promo like way back when he was like, "This guy's entering the Royal Rumble," just everybody. So we walk away from that. Chad Gable moves over with American Made. Obviously, Ivy Nile and her setting up a little rivalry. They walk away. They run into Alpha Academy. Chad Gable kind of berates them and walks away. I just feel like they're never like he's always going to be tied to them. I feel like at some point he's going to go back. At some point, like down the road, he's going to like, sorry guys, like I don't know. He's always tied to them. Every other week they're always doing a promo together. So.
Talking about somebody who needs to change the scenery. Alpha Academy needs to move, or either them, Alpha Academy, or American Made need to split them up. I'm done with it. I'm tired of it.
You're already done with American Made?
No, with them together, like
okay.
American Alpha and American Made going at it. Like no.
Okay,
American
okay.
Made, I still love them as a faction. I would like to see them wrestle more, and especially the Creed brothers, especially and Ivy Nile. Love Ivy Nile, but I'm tired of the interaction with Otis. Let them go their separate ways. Like I just said, SmackDown needs some more face tag teams. Let American Alpha go over there and have a face run as a faction over there, and let it be done. They can go up against DIY and be fodder for them and do whatever they want to do. Have fun, like the same characters they've been doing. But let American Made go off and stay on Raw and have a decent run where they actually get some real matches instead of the gimmick matches against American Alpha and all that. I want to see them actually wrestle as good as they are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I really feel like there's so much potential with American Made. You're right. The Creed brothers are natural. If you can take what the Steiner brothers were in the 90s, I think that's what the Creed brothers are now.
Good comparison.
It's a very good
comparison.
That's a good comparison.
And I really feel like at some point you put Brutus Creed up against Braun Breaker, and maybe even if you get Scott's kid, who's supposedly going to be coming in at some point, and you could have the next generation Steiners against the Creed brothers.
It's funny you say that. Do you guys follow Scott Steiner on X, by the way?
Oh yeah.
Have you noticed he's been getting really chatty lately? The past week and a half.
Yeah.
Something's coming. He might.
Oh, yeah.
I think. I mean, I'm just saying. I think he might pop up on Saturday. I don't know.
I don't know if he can go.
I don't know.
I don't want him in the match. He can pop up and make an appearance. I don't want him in.
Something's going on because it's just like I noticed it. Like the week and a half, all of a sudden now he's talking about the fans. He's live tweeting almost the shows. Like, you guys, don't get me going, freaks. Don't get me going. I'll show up down there, and I'm like, getting real loud all of a sudden. You've been quiet for a minute. So
I've heard something about him and Jesse. Obviously they've got history.
Yep.
Maybe they do it on the next Saturday night's main event. He shows up there because he started tweeting and chirping right before then. Maybe he comes back as the next guest for Saturday night's main event. And him and Jesse Ventura have an argument or something just to play into that. I don't know that I want to see him this Saturday. There's too much other big stuff going on and too many big, like you said, big names in both Rumbles and people coming back and too many moving parts. I don't want somebody like Scott Steiner on Saturday.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I feel like something's gonna happen. That's why I didn't know if I don't know, but
no, he's been entertaining online on Twitch. Absolutely,
dude. Him showing up on Saturday night's main event too. You give Scott Steiner a live mic. Oh yes, let's go. Then we have another match. We got Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez taking on Naomi and the EST non-title match. Good match. It was a good match. A little choppy to me. And again, I don't like to, obviously, like not just a women's match. It seemed choppy to me. It seemed very kind of a lot of people kind of looking back, doing their thing. I've been saying this a lot of times about Bianca, and I love Bianca Belair. I do. I just feel like a lot of the times you see her doing a lot of look back and like kind of like planning the moves. And I just, with Raquel looks still a little green in there, choppy too. But other than that, I mean, if it was a good match, it was good to see. Obviously, Liv gets the win, pinning the tag champs. What are your guys' thoughts on the match?
Same. I think Bianca's matches get like that because I think she moves faster. Obviously, she's the fastest.
Yep.
I think that's more true than a lot of people give her credit for. And I think sometimes her looking back is because she has to slow herself down in order to hit spots with other people because she knows other people aren't as fast as she is. Yeah. So I kind of give a little bit of a pass to some of that just because I know to me, that's why it's happened. Obviously, I've never been in a wrestling ring. You guys see me. I'm not in shape. I can't take a bump. None of that. But just from watching it for years and years and years and I guess studying it, for lack of a better term, that just seems to be what it is. Because when she's in there with other people that are a little faster, like a Rhea or a Charlotte or somebody like that who's more experienced and who can keep up with her, there's not near as much of that. But it was an okay match. I mean, you get the return of Dom coming out to help her, I guess, making up for trying to reunite with Rhea Ripley a couple weeks ago, whatever.
Yeah, she looked pretty happy with the win there, him helping out. So she looked pretty happy. I think that was his little help. Yeah, a little peace offering.
Yeah. So hopefully, I mean, who knows? I'm not sure what we're doing with the women's tag team titles at this point. I'd go ahead and give it to Lash and
yeah.
I was gonna say it's nice to see him going down to NXT. Obviously being on CW, they're hot right now, man. The ratings are really getting up there. They're looking good. But it's good to see them going there. Maybe they drop them there. I just think those titles should move a little more. Like what, you know what I mean? I don't want to see them be hot potatoed, but just there's a lot of women's tag teams. Let's make there's no problem having a 90-day run and giving up the titles to somebody. Nothing wrong with that.
There's also not enough established women's tag teams, like where you have like the Motor City Machine Guns or DIY or War Raiders, in the in the men's division for tag teams. You don't have those established women. It's like the women's tag teams are kind of just thrown together. Bianca and Jade were thrown together. Jade gets attacked, which I still say was Bianca.
I agree.
And now it's Bianca and Naomi. Well, it's even Jade, Lash and her tag team partner, they're actually in a faction. So they've been together. But they need to have more established women's tag teams if they're going to truly establish this women's tag team championship. You've got Damage Control. They're like one of the very few established women's tag teams. I mean, for shits and giggles, you could put Liv and Raquel as an established tag team because they've been together for quite a while now, even though Raquel was injured.
Former champions.
And there's history. I was just saying, they were champions. Yeah. There's history there too with them being champions.
Get the titles off of Bianca and Naomi. Obviously, it's going to come when Jade comes back at the Rumble, hopefully, and then
Jade will probably cost him the belt.
Jade's going to cost him the belts, leading to Jade and Bianca at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and then Michael even says that in the comment, Jade coming back to cost them both. And I think it's actually going to come out now that it wasn't just Bianca, that this was a plan for both Bianca and Naomi, and they both did it together. It was more of a collaborative effort. I thought it was just going to be Bianca at first too, but Naomi's played into it a lot more than I thought she would. So I think it'll actually end up being both of them. Like they were tired of Jade, outshining them, getting all the spotlight, things like that, because they're the established veterans and she's the rookie. It's going to be something sort of like that. And she's going to end up coming. And I don't know that she'll cost them the titles. I don't want her to cost them the titles. I want Lash and Jakara to beat them clean. And then maybe she comes in at the Rumble and eliminates them both. And then you take that story on from there.
There you go.
But I really want Lash and Jakara to win because it puts jeopardy on every match. Because they're still an NXT team. So no matter who you put them up against, whether it's, you talk about Damage Control when anybody comes back. I know I heard Asuka may be coming back soon. Unfortunately, Dakota Kai, again, prayers up. She apparently got a concussion last week. So she's apparently out now, which is a whole nother story. And so really it's only Io Sky right now, which Michael also mentions in the comment that it's just kind of her. Once they come back and you can put some other tag teams together and it would seem like there's a little bit of jeopardy because they're not the dominant force that Bianca and Naomi are in Lash and Scar. So it puts more on the line when they're facing with some other tag teams and then it lets them build up. So it would just be a really good device to bring out a lot of new talent to put it on Lash and Jakara and let them go to between all the brands. They've already been on all three. So they've already got kind of a pop in that establishment for all three brands. That would be the perfect time to do it this Tuesday, tomorrow night in Atlanta on NXT. It puts more eyeballs on NXT on the CW because you've got your champions changing right before the Rumble. And it makes too much sense to me.
See, that was my thought process. Why I thought exactly that. It's almost like they paraded them around to Monday nights, the Friday nights. So when you see these faces again as champions, like, oh, I remember. Oh yeah, those are the girls. That's why I really think this is the match where they're gonna lose the belts because they're like, hey, you see these people? This is who they are. This is why. Now when you see them again at champions, oh, okay, they can find them on Tuesday nights and they're everywhere else. So I think that was kind of the key fact for me. Like, I think this might be the one. So,
yep.
Awesome. Where are we at next? Cool. Rhea Ripley's in the back, cutting her promo, talking about being beat up. It was a hell of a match with Nia. Bayley pops up. Hey, if I win, I'm going to see you. Coming for you. And then obviously Bayley turns around like she sees Io Sky which makes sense because now without Dakota Kai, now Io kind of has to do the singles thing. And she's like, I'll see you Saturday. So I know we're going to talk about tomorrow. We're getting together to talk about the Rumble. These Rumbles are going to be amazing. And I think there's a reason why there's only 4 cards on the match. I mean, four cards on the whole event, because these Rumbles are going to get their time to breathe. And there's going to be some really, really good cinema on these matches. So I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be good. Paul Heyman.
I agree, Michael. I agree, Michael. Nia and Rhea were money on X today. Like with the
This you?
Yeah.
Touch the butt. Love it. Penta declares he's in the Royal Rumble. That's going to be amazing to see that man in that match. That'll be good to see. And to no fanfare whatsoever, Paul Heyman starts walking to the ring, gets on the mic, starts talking about Roman being the one behind the one. We finally get the unveil. I think we all saw for a while that cat kind of get let out of the bag. Roman is the cover athlete, cover wrestler for 2K25 WWE. Great move. What are you guys' thoughts on? Have you guys seen the other covers during Netflix? There's a Bloodline cover. If you pre-order, which I'm gonna do as soon as you can do it, you get the whites. You get the white. But
no, I was just putting up my ones.
Yeah.
Shout out to and you can go check my ex at Big Mike _Big Mike 27 for congratulating the one true tribal chief making it to the Bloodline cover, Tonga Loa. Finally, as a rookie, his first year in WWE. And I've got a second one I'm going to put out earlier where I actually Photoshop his head over Roman's. It's coming. Just look out for my ex in the next day or two. It's coming. Where Tonga Loa is the headliner on there, not Roman.
Make sure you tag him. I guarantee.
Somebody give me Tonga Loa's ex because I looked for it. I googled it and couldn't find one that was legitimate. I would have done it tonight. Trust me, if I'd have found it. So if anybody knows what it is, please tag us in the comments. Tag me at _Big Mike 27 on X. Please tell me what Tonga Loa's X is, because when I will 100% put him and Roman on there. I want all the smoke.
I was just saying,
call me a street prophet.
Roman on there, put Paul on it.
Oh yeah.
That's and definitely tag WWE 2K. They love that kind of shit. They love that.
Oh yeah, they got the hashtag on the post I did earlier. They got the smoke.
Yeah, so that was awesome. Great to see. I think
I got to figure out which version I'm going to buy, either the Undertaker or the Bloodline. It's going to be tough. And I did hear that they're actually going to have that open universe with the Island of Relevancy, and I don't even know what the hell that means, but it is going to be for consoles only. But I'm looking forward to it. I mean, WWE 2K is the only game I buy all year, unless I want to update my MLB game. But outside of that, it's the only game I buy all year. So it's like I buy the top of the line version. It looks great. The graphics look fantastic. I want to see the improvements over 24. So
I think that's the biggest thing too with 2K, man. They really are listening to what the people want. I know obviously Paul and TKO are saying the same thing. Listen, if this is what they want, put the blood in there. Put the mixed gender matches in there. Let's just do it. It's a video game.
I don't like the intergender.
I believe intergender and blood are intergender and something else is back. According
chain
to
wrestling.
something
Michael says chain wrestling's back as well.
Yeah, it has something to do with they're going to change the rating. It's like, but yeah, they're listening to everything that people want. They want an open universe. There you go. Get your own damn island to go to. So I think it's going to be a great game. But I agree the same way. Like, what do I buy? Do I buy the Bloodline or the Undertaker? The universe modes are going to rock. Either way, man. And I'm sure, the showcases are going to be amazing. So it's going to be cool. Like players like
John, do me a favor. Turn around. Turn your head. Look at the wall behind you. Just buy them all. You've got them. You look at all the stuff you've already got. Just buy all the covers and post them all. You've got it. It's
come on, man. And remember, guys, this is TV side. You can't see hard cam. Like, you don't know this. You can't see the shit I got over here.
You got more belts than Mercedes Moné over there. I mean, good lord.
Hey, listen, don't do that. She's gonna come and drag me. Don't do that, man. Don't do that.
You mean your hard cam side isn't empty like AEW's?
Wow,
What happened? What
there
was
it
that?
is.
I said,
Which is-
your hard cam side isn't empty like AEW's.
As a matter of fact, I'm the only one in here, just like AEW Collision tapings. So I'm just the only one in here. Me and Jess joke around all the time. If you guys, obviously, if you're watching us, you watch the channel. Me and Jess do the lowdown with me and Jesse B. And I joke around all the time that we get more views than any collision show that they do on a given basis. So obviously Paul's out there. Here comes Drew McIntyre. Obviously has a match with Sammy. He comes out there, calls himself the daddy of the bloodline. Thoughts, please, on daddy of the bloodline.
He's the hunter of the bloodline. I don't know about the daddy of the bloodline.
Your thoughts?
I mean, it makes sense with Drew and his character, just to throw some weird shit out like that, just to get it to stick.
You see Paul's face?
Yeah,
He's like looking him up and down.
and I'm sure it'll trend in sometime in the next week. It'll trend on X at some point, just because his Twitter game's too good. He'll make it work somehow.
Daddy.
But yeah, it was funny as hell. I mean, I love how they went back to the very beginning, back in 2020 or whatever, where he's the one that started
had a
the
good
bloodline
point.
because
I mean, it
he's
was
the
a
one that
valid
made
point.
Paul. Yeah. If he had never beat Brock Lesnar, Paul would have never been in obscurity to help Roman Reigns. It was pretty deep cut. It was nice.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you
no,
know
we
what?
can
Now
see
that
it.
does make sense. The daddy of the bloodline. That does make sense.
Yeah,
the bloodline formed
when he
because
took it
of
there,
him.
I went,
Yeah. Again, Drew being a jackass and being an ass, but he kind of has a point.
Yeah,
yeah. And again, this is some of his best work, man. He just needs to keep being him. Just don't change. Drew, don't ever change. Just keep doing this for as long as it works, man. I love this. So obviously, Paul leaves. He says, "Hey, tell your boy I'm coming. Oh, I'll tell my tribal chief." No, not that guy. CM Punk. Tell him I'm coming for him. And it looks like on the kickoff show on Saturday, that's an exclusive interview with CM Punk talking about this favor that he's going to cash in on Roman Reigns. I'm sorry, with Paul Heyman. So that should be cool to see if he gives any kind of breadcrumbs as to where that's going. So then Drew gets his match with Sammy. Awesome match. Those two have great chemistry in the ring together.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome stuff. Blue Thunder bombs. Everyone's hitting power bombs off the top rope. Everything. The bump on the table. Those new tables are not safe for wrestlers. Like Drew just scraped his entire back like all the way down. Like, dude, like, these aren't your dad's announcer's tables. These things are solid, just built in, baby. Like, but I thought it was a great match. Obviously uses the ropes to get the 1, 2, 3. What are your thoughts on the match? Where we talking about what transpired after that?
Oh, fantastic match. Yeah. Drew and Sammy, like you said, have tremendous chemistry. I've started to actually become a big fan of Sami Zayn. I never was. Like, I always put him in. I always respected his ability in the ring, but I was never really a fan of his. But over the past, I want to say 6 months to a year, he's really impressed upon me that he's up in that upper echelon.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I can't add anything to that. Just agreed.
Sorry to
Awesome.
steal your thunder there.
So obviously, I was like, where'd everyone go? I was like, everyone's still here. Everyone came back. I said, okay, great. So obviously after that happens, Drew just continues to beat the hell out of Sami Zayn. Here comes Cody Rhodes. He starts beating on Drew. That becomes a tag team. Here's Kevin Owens out of nowhere. So just beating the hell out of him. Sammy gets involved. Drew's got Sammy in the corner. I'm sorry, gets Cody in the corner. Sammy goes to hit the kick on Drew. Oh, it smashes Cody's face in. Second time, 2 weeks in a row, baby. Taking dudes out, his friends. What I liked about the entire thing was not so much that happened. I like the fact that all you see is Kevin Owens and Sammy standing there. Kevin looks over and goes, "Thanks, buddy." And gets out of the ring. And just Sammy's just like, no, wait. This is how it looks. Wait a minute. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays into the Rumble on Saturday. So that was good.
And don't overlook the continuation of Kevin Owens' t-shirt game with the Sami Zayn Forever t-shirt from the Jackass match.
His shirt game's on
Yeah.
point.
Oh yeah,
His shirt game is so
everything's
undefeated.
calculated. Oh yeah.
Oh, his
The
shirt's
fact that he
got
came
red.
out in Jimmy's, the fact that he came out in Jimmy's wife's shirt, he comes out with the glow shirt, and I'm like, bro.
I like it.
Have you seen that Twitter rant afterwards where she told people to
Oh,
tag that
That
was
was-
good. Some of the posts that came up with that, people photoshopping wigs on him, that was hilarious.
But to bring all that back to what Vinny was saying about the cave, I feel like that's where it lies now, where they go in and get like they're so pissed they take it to X and they'll let X play with it now. Now it's just gonna let them play for it for days now. Same thing with the Drew and CM Punk stuff. Like they'll just I tweet one thing, he tweets another, let it go. Let them do their thing. And to wrap up the show, obviously, I'm sure you guys weren't the only ones. You saw the made in Georgia with the peach on it. We all knew, oh, okay, that's the end of Raw. Nope. Cody talking about getting his ass kicked in his hometown, saying how he's done it. He does it the best. He does it the most. Nobody can compare to him. Here comes CM Punk. What a promo between these two. I just wow. So much personal stuff there. And he's always bringing up his old man, always bringing up Dusty. And just the fact that he just kind of was like, look at, I'm your friend. I love you, but I'm going to tell you to your face. I'm going to stab you in the front, not the back, but I'm still going to take you down. And Cody's cracking. I know this, he doesn't want to be a heel. He doesn't but you can see the cracks in the armor where he's just really getting, Punk was right. It's getting to him. It's wearing on him. Cody's just in the ring. Like, what the hell do I have to do? Like, I can't take this anymore. What are your guys' thoughts on the promos and on the promo, I should say, kind of what that's going to lead into for Saturday?
I mean, it was great considering I only got to see the second half of it because my dumbass moved and moved places and didn't get to see the first part of it. I did get to see kind of the part you were talking about.
That was a good part.
But I don't necessarily think Cody has to turn heel. I like the fact where you have the face kind of have a little bit of edge to him and a little bit of tweener to him. Like a Stone Cold. Stone Cold still acted like an ass to everybody, but he was just the good guy. I mean, everybody just cheered him. That's kind of the way it is. I like blurring the lines. It's 2025. Yeah. We don't want a pure, baby face, good guy. Oh shucks, I'm just going to do the
white meat baby face.
That's what I was trying to find. I couldn't find it in my head. But nobody wants that anymore. It's 2025. We want them to have some edge. We want them to be able to get pissed off. And if you have to, grab a chair. If you have to, grab a kendo stick. Don't give us this. Well, oh shucks, I'm just the best guy ever. And no, it's not what we want anymore. So I'm glad to see it. I'm glad to put some layers to the character.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
I like it.
And it's like I was gonna say, if Cody's pulling that John Cena thing of not becoming a heel or not wanting to become a heel, it's going to turn the fans off more than if he has that edge. It's the same thing, and I hate to say it, but it's the same thing with Hogan during the early 90s. It's like if you're that pure white meat baby face that's just, that all around good guy that's not gonna, let's face it, Hogan was a heel. He did a lot of heel stuff, but because of his charisma, he was a babyface. I'm the biggest Hulkamaniac there is, and I always will be, and I will defend him all the time. But the fact of the matter is, he was a heel. The back rakes, the eye rakes, the Royal Rumble '92 when he pulled Sid out and being a sore loser, he was a heel. But because of his promos, he was still a babyface, and people got tired of it. So when he became Hollywood Hogan in the 90s to join the NWO, it reinvigorated his career and the entire wrestling industry. And Cody has to have that edge because he has to be that guy where he will do whatever it takes to keep the title and not just be a white meat babyface. And I'm liking it.
I agree with both points. I mean, I know in AEW he didn't want to turn heel, even though the crowd pretty much made him a heel. But I also agree to Mike's point too. I don't want to see full heel. You can't never go full heel. But I want to see like maybe almost some Paul Heyman-esque, right? Maybe the hair is getting a little darker. Maybe the suit's a little disheveled. Maybe he's coming out with a couple buttons off, right? Maybe he's cracking. Maybe he's just again the edge. But you know what? I'm done with maybe it comes out it's just something regular, not the suit. You're like, what's wrong with Cody? Where's your suit, man? What's going on? Hair's starting to get a little darker. You're like, what's going on with your blonde hair? That kind of thing. And I think that was a little bit tonight. You saw that, especially the way he was talking to Punk. You definitely saw that. Like, he was talking kind of weird, but I get it because you're supposed to see you selling getting his ass kicked. I get that. But I liked his tone, his demeanor, and his cadence. That's the kind of Cody I want to see. Just kind of very determined and just kind of not dark, but just like kick your ass, dude. Like Cody's always, hey, what do you want to talk about? And now it's like, no, man, I'm done with this. I'm done with you. I'm done with everybody. And the way him and Punk ended it with the stare down, cinema. Now I need those two to fight at WrestleMania. I need to see it. But it's gonna be. We'll talk about more about that on Rumble show. But yeah, I think it was an awesome go home show for the Rumble for Saturday. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on the episode?
Go ahead, Vinny. I've
I
talked
was
enough.
going to say, I'm happy. I'm enjoying Raw on Netflix. You know, I'm enjoying the. I love the presentation. I mean, I've always loved Raw in general. I've always loved wrestling, so I'll watch it to the day I die. But I like the new presentation. Like I said, the commentary is great. I like how they're treating it like a big fight. They're not, you know, and that's the one criticism that wrestling has always gotten was the amount of promo to match time. I like having the promos because it pushes the stories forward. That's what professional wrestling is. It's stories. It's soap operas.
Yep.
I should know. I do both. Soap operas.
I was gonna say, if anyone knows that, it's you.
But, yeah. It is. It's, you know, it is a soap opera with more action, with more athleticism. And that's what you watch wrestling for. It's not about the in-ring product. The in-ring product has to be good, but unless you can really tell a good story with the in-ring product, you need those promo times. And to have the matches actually mean something, that's what's so great about the new style. With the PLEs only having 4 or 5 matches on them, you don't need to have 13 matches for a 4-hour show. People get tired of that because, especially if you have no story. 4 matches, let them go a half hour each. Give us the packages in between that get you to the part that show the feud. From it's like treating it like a big fight, and I'm loving it.
Awesome. Mike?
Yeah, to an extent. I mean, I'll actually take the opposite point of that. I love stories. I love the promos and everything like that. But I even said something watching the show tonight to my wife as we were watching. I was like, there hasn't been a lot of wrestling on this show. You know, even tonight, it was a great show. But I'd like to see a little bit more wrestling on my wrestling show. I mean, there needs to be a happy medium.
Oh yeah,
you know, I don't want 10 matches, all of them going 20 minutes and doing all that. No, but I would like to have seen maybe one less promo and one more match in this, just to kind of even it out just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe cut Jey Uso off with 5 less minutes and have a 5-minute match in there just to showcase a younger talent or something. You know, maybe an intercontinental contender match or something to build something like that up for the women's intercontinental match or something. Just something else to further a story in the ring instead of behind and backstage. That's all. That's my only really real critique about it.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. No, you hit. That was my point. I like how they're doing it backstage now. No entrance to come to the ring. It takes 5 extra minutes. It's just her back there. Hey, so I'm here with so and so. What are your thoughts? Like, just very quick. Get a 3-5-minute promo out, go. Don't do the 6, 8, 7-minute entrance in the ring, then the whole thing, go to a commercial break. So, but I agree. Maybe 1 or 2 more matches. But I do, the one defense I have for that, Jesse says it all the time. Too many commercials. I fell asleep before one of the matches. This is a weird time when they did the Netflix thing. 1, I feel like, obviously Royal Rumble, everyone needs to declare. So they need to get everyone on their 3-minute mic time. 2,
do they? I think.
Well, that was a critique. I mean, there was like no women declared for this match. It was like 2. It was Bailey. Nia. Yeah, it was like, who else is going to be in this match?
Yeah.
Charlotte. I mean, not from last week, but I mean, and I think these next 3-4 months, 3.5, are going to be a lot of backstage stuff, building this. But like Vinny said too, show me a vignette, cut a package, 30 seconds. Penta was perfect. Done. Cool. We go on. That's it. Let's move. So yeah, I agree. But I think a little more wrestling. But I think overall the presentation, the cadence has been great. I think.
Can I just say I love how everybody is declaring themselves for the Royal Rumbles. I love the fact, like I said, I love the fact that everybody is declaring themselves for a specific reason. The reason, obviously, is to win. And Logan Paul tonight said something that made the most sense in the world that nobody's ever said. He said, I don't have to eliminate 29 other guys. I have to eliminate one other person. Because if you come in at whatever, number 15, number 20, whatever, the only person you have to eliminate is that last other person in the ring with you. You don't need to go through 29 others.
Miz did that greatly every year, sliding back in when there's like 2 people left. Miz did that to a T.
Same thing with Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler hit under the ring for almost damn near the whole Royal Rumble back in the 93 or something.
It was like you honestly forgot about him, and then all of a sudden, oh wait, he was under the ring the whole time. Awesome. Well, I think it was a great match. Obviously, those of you watching, we're going to promote it on X. The 3 of us will be getting together tomorrow, talking about the Royal Rumble, talking about our predictions, talking about how we see everything going down. So definitely stay tuned for that, for what times and things like that. So for those of you that normally watch the show and see me and the prettier other half of mine, Jesse B, where can we find you, Vinny? On No, you're beautiful too. I'm just saying. I feel like a lot of people too did. They were like, hey, wait a minute. 3 dudes.
Guys.
What had happened was, so Vinny, if no one see, where can we find you on your socials?
I'm at Vinny Suds for Twix, and my Facebook is Vinny Suds as well. At Suds Media on Twix and Blue Sky. And then just visit our website, suds-media.com. On Patreon and buy me a coffee as well. So everything is Suds Media or Suds and Squared Circle Media. Can't miss it.
Awesome. Mike, how about you?
Well, I guess you could go check me out on X, where I won't post any pictures apparently, because apparently I'm not the good looking one of the group. At _ Big Mike 27, pretty much all socials at _ Big Mike 27. X, YouTube, Twitter, Snapchat, pretty much everything. Be sure to tune in. And John didn't mention we are here tomorrow night for Royal Rumble predictions, but this Thursday, January 30th, 8 o'clock Central, the Run-In Royal Rumble Fantasy Draft, 6 enter. Only one will survive, and that will be me. Big Mike of the Run-In Wrestling Podcast will be number 1 in the Royal Rumble Fantasy Draft. Book it right now.
You know what I can tell you? I can guarantee you that Sped's going to lose that crown. That's the one thing I can guarantee is going to happen.
Damn right.
The one thing I can guarantee, baby. So
let me put it on
for
that shelf right over here. Where I'm going to put it.
I think I might just put it right here instead of this big gold belt. Just put it right here. So obviously for you guys that watch me all the time, obviously me, Mike, Vinny, and Jesse, who's on her cruise, we do this almost every day, every week, talking wrestling, WWE, TNA, AEW, the whole 9. As you can see on the banner, do the thing, like, subscribe, comment, all of our pages. Also, hit that bell for any notifications for all the interviews, all the prediction shows, and all the shows that we have on a daily basis. So, guys, thank you for having a bros night. And I can't say you're the prettiest out of the group because then you know the flack I'm going to get when Jesse comes back home. I don't want that. We're not having any barbecues. I don't want any smoke. Awesome. So for Vinny, for Mike, I'm John Anthony. Guys, it's been a blast. And we'll see all of you tomorrow night when we talk Royal Rumble.